Hello and welcome back to We're Talking Tea. Tonight we'll be getting into the Medicine episode season 12 part 2 of the reunion. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so that you do not miss out on the next time that we talk tea. Our drink of the night, we have a apple martini. Nothing too specific, just the apple martini. We got the Tito's vodka with the sour apple de campo. And that's all we got going tonight. We're about to get into this part 2 reunion. So immediately going into this part 2 reunion, Simone and Jackie meet up. Now I know I put out the whole spiel on. I felt like their friendship was over and they're back together. I just knew it was going to be over this time. Because she didn't ride for her girl when she was supposed to. But they all back cool, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so they're back together, and then it went into Contessa going in on Heavenly about the language that she used, and she referred to her as a black Karen. Yes, refers to her as a black Karen, and she needs to stop using the language that she's using. Then they went into so while that argument was going on, the men was like, I think we're missing something. But in the men's room, as they were hanging out backstage, Curtis and Eugene was getting into it because Curtis was saying Eugene is always defending his wife. Well, he's supposed to defend his wife. That's what he's supposed to do. But Curtis was upset at the fact that Eugene was supporting Toya when she said, I touched multiple women. Well, multiple can be two. And on camera, you touched at least 2 women. They showed Toya, they showed Heavenly. That's 2. So he's not wrong in defending his wife when he said and she said that it happened. So clearly Curtis still have it on his mind that something happened or something didn't happen and he's not willing to address it, and Toya just needs to stop. Period. So then that happened, and then the men come out on the stage. The chairs are all set up for the men, and who gets first chair? Eugene. Eugene gets first chair, just like Toya did. So that's a plus. Okay. So then Andy spoke about the Jamaica trip and how all the nurses and doctors had stepped up with that event and stuff like that. Then they talked about Jackie and Toya. Well, while the men was having a conversation, Jackie and Toya was in the background kind of saying what Toya said, what Toya didn't say. Toya was still being honest. It is what it is. Toya said it happened, and it did happen, so it is what it is. So then Curtis just still refused to admit that he did touch certain women inappropriately. He refused. And Eugene was like, okay, bro, if that's what it is, then okay, don't address it. But then you have Steve. Steve is still holding on to the Met Gala. You can clearly tell Steve have some animosity towards Eugene. Because every time an opportunity presents itself, he's trying to go in on Toya and or Eugene. So they constantly having words, constantly going back and forth, and he's expecting him to hold his wife accountable because Damon holds his wife accountable and this one hold his wife accountable, and I need you to hold your wife accountable because you need to put your foot down. Bruh, your wife has a lot going on. You have a lot going on. Focus on your household, your marriage, your relationship, and leave Toya and Eugene alone. Their children are older. They don't have time. They do you, baby. You have 2 beautiful children over there. Just focus on your family and your children. Don't worry about Eugene and his wife because they're gonna be fine. Toya is a single. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's a wife. She gonna make sure her house is in order, and when time comes, she gonna always hold Eugene up. She gonna always hold him up. So Don't worry about them because they good. So then we still have Curtis still going out on Toya because she's still being honest about what was said. We have Damon addressing the issues with his son and how the whole mental health scare really scared him and his wife, and that he had to call Mimi to kind of figure out how things were going and how the hospitals are overpopulated with people with mental health issues. Then they talked about Simone cutting his kids off. Oh, but Damon. They mentioned Damon holding his wife accountable. And Damon said, like, even though they don't see me holding Heavenly accountable, I hold her accountable. I still have conversations with her about the things she say and do. But the thing is, Damon, your wife says and does things, but you expect the men and the women to not say something. You can hold them accountable. And my wife can say whatever she want to say. And this is me speaking on Eugene's behalf. And my wife can say whatever she wants to say. And then behind the stage, I can still say, well, Toya, you didn't have to say that. Toya, you didn't have to do that. Kind of like how Damon does. You don't hold Heavenly accountable in front of people. So why should anybody else? Heavenly can bash whoever she wants, however she wants. And you don't say nothing. So why can't everybody else do the same and follow suit? That's all I got to say about that. So then Simone talked about her cutting her kids off. She just wants Cecil to just stand by her side and always be there when he needs to step up and say, we agree that this is what's going to happen. So they spoke on that. Curtis apologized about speaking on Quiet and King's relationship, kids and stuff like that. And he apologized and he just pushed it under the rug. And what's his name? Steve was like, that's all Eugene had to do. So Curtis should have never said it to begin with. If he would have never said it to begin with, he would have never had to apologize for it. So you want people to just randomly make statements and then apologize for it? Heavenly has never apologized for stuff that she has said. I don't ever remember Heavenly apologizing for something. But Curtis misspoke. He deep down inside, he knew exactly what he was saying and he meant every word that he said. But because his wife told him to apologize, he did. To save face, he did. It is what it is. But he didn't mean nothing by it. And Quiet knew he probably didn't mean that apology either. So then we had Toya, Quiet, Eugene, and Mimi Toya, Eugene, Mimi, and Steve discussed the Met Gala and how they still have yet to pay to get into the Met Gala. They were supposed to pay in that moment. While they were at the door, they did not pay. And so they was constantly bringing up, well, y'all didn't pay the first 2 years, and last year we paid $5,000, so technically we still good. Last year, like Eugene said at the episode, last year's prices is not today's prices. We talking about today. My wife is over today, and you need to pay to get in. Period. It is what it is. But clearly, Steve wants to keep on pushing the issue, or maybe he was embarrassed that he was held up at the door. But Eugene said you needed to pay. And then they started to get into, well, why did Eugene have to I think it was Contessa. Why did Eugene have to step up and say something when it was the women that put this on? Well, my wife felt like she didn't have the support of the other women, and that I am the man of the relationship. So if someone comes to the door and have not paid, as a man, I am going to address it. And that's what he did. He addressed it. It is what it is. So when Steve and his wife came to the door, he addressed it. You say you at Jackie table, Jackie should have told you to pay. Or she should have paid for you. Period. It is what it is. So then you have Simone and Heavenly that they went off. They went in again, And Simone was like, yes, I'm still Jackie's friend, but me and Heavenly will never be cool. Which I still feel like Bravo gave Damon and Heavenly a pass because of their son. Because Heavenly will go in on any and everybody. But because their son has a mental health issue, they are being a little timid about how they choose to address the issue. I get it, because mental health is a serious concern. But Heavenly doesn't care about anybody. She don't. And that's just me being honest. She doesn't. She doesn't care about anybody. But we'll see how it goes. And then it ended with Toya giving the toast. And she toasts to inspiration. And every woman on the stage is inspirational. And let's bring that inspiration into season 13. I love you, Toya. You are my girl. And that's the way it ended. So, until next time we talk tea, y'all have a good night. Bye. And that is a wrap for Married to Medicine season 12. Until next year. Bye. For Married to Medicine, that is. We'll be back with what? RHOA. It's up next. RHOA is up next. And y'all will see me. So y'all have a good night. Bye.